I know you guys got a ton of confidence in him, but to see him throw for 404 TDs, he hasn't done that yet.
Jeez.
That's a little
Dang,
different.
Jay. I didn't even know he did that, but that's the confidence that we have in him.
I mean, I didn't know that. I knew he threw for 4 TDs, but 417, man, the dude's grown. He's a baller. Can't say enough good things about Josh, man. He's a leader of our team, and we're riding behind him.
What's up, Bills Mafia? Big Jim here, and I don't know about you, but I've got that 2-0 feeling this week. And I'm loving every minute of it. I want to start by promising you that I did not create this channel to serve as a love letter to Josh Allen. I know last week I zeroed in on his performance, and I'm obviously about to do it again. But there's really no other way to tell the story of the first 2 weeks except to discuss Josh's breakout. Allen set the Miami Dolphins secondary on fire this week in a close and chaotic game on the road versus a division rival. These first 2 outings are absolute standouts from our boy, and I believe he is a frontrunner for the MVP race thus far. I know, it's week 2. There's really little point in having the MVP discussion, but when you sit down and look at the numbers and watch the game tape, they really pop out at you. It's hard not to compare him to the elite QBs in the league. And no, I'm not delusional about it, or at least I don't think so. I'm not calling Josh elite. I'm not trying to say he's better than the other guys on the way too early MVP rankings, but statistically, there's no one else you can reasonably compare him to. Josh has earned the right to be part of this conversation, and I want to try to put all these numbers and all of this praise into perspective. Speaking of the numbers, let's take a look at them. This week, Josh posted a stat line of 24 for 35, which is good for a 68.6 completion percentage. He racked up 417 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's good for a quarterback rating of 147. Over 2 weeks, he leads the NFL in passing yards, has over 70% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he's the 3rd highest rated passer in the league, behind only reigning MVP Lamar Miller and Russell Wilson. Remember all that talk about Josh's deep ball accuracy? No one has more 20-plus yard completions in the NFL than the 12 he's connected on thus far. Same for 40-plus yards, too. Rodgers also has 3 of those, but nobody has more. There's just no shortage of fun ways for us Bills fans to combine these numbers, and if you're like me, you're on Twitter all day looking at them and smiling. But the point here isn't to make these stats look more significant than they are. It's to compare them and Josh to the best of the best and see how he stacks up. Easily the best candidate outside of Josh is Russell Wilson. His strength of opponent is better than Josh's, and the rest of the numbers are right there with them. Or in the case of touchdowns, they're significantly higher with 9. Anyone who wants to give the nod to Russell after these 2 weeks, I have no issue with that at all. Even the eyeball test says he's the best signal caller in the league right now, and as far as I'm concerned, the November 8th game versus Seattle can't get here soon enough. It could be an absolute shootout, and I'm excited to see it. Full disclosure, I started working on this video before Seattle even kicked off on Sunday, but the hype train had left the station already. There are no breaks. We're plowing forward. The last 2 MVPs of the league are another story. Lamar has picked up where he left off. He's got considerably fewer attempts than Josh, but that's what happens when you blow out your opponent. Most notable for Lamar here is his 134.6 passer rating on just 49 attempts. It's complete with a 77.6 completion percentage and a 4-0 TD to INT ratio. He's another great candidate, but the low volume hurts a bit, makes the numbers a little less flashy than Russ and Josh. There was a lot of Pat Mahomes love in the comments last week, and he's a shoo-in to be considered here. But after a rough first half against San Diego this week, the numbers are just down currently. He's below 65%, has 200 fewer yards than Josh, and a couple less scores. It's nothing to worry about, but it is kind of a stats-focused award, so at least for now, advantage Josh. Kyler Murray is another young QB having a breakout season, but as a passer, the numbers are significantly lower. Add in the rushing stats and you'll start to see why he belongs here. But again, as a passer, Russ, Josh, Lamar, they all have him beat. But hey, this is a Josh Allen video. I'm not going to start discounting rushing statistics. Kyler is another great candidate. The last guy I'll discuss here is Aaron Rodgers. He's got a very similar stat line to Allen, slightly less volume, but despite that, same TD to INT ratio at 6-0, very similar passer rating. He's been slightly more conservative than Allen, but it's negligible. Another vote-worthy candidate beyond doubt. But numbers lie all the time. You can't rely on them entirely if you want to get a complete picture. So let's get into the game tape from this week and see if Josh lived up to the hype. In the first quarter, on the second drive, Buffalo's backed up inside their own 5-yard line. Josh puts Diggs in motion and identifies the man coverage of the defense. It's a play-action pass executed perfectly by Allen. He's fast with the fake and the rotation to be set to throw immediately in case there's pressure. This part's a bit of a theme throughout the day, but Stefan runs a crossing route and uses his speed to get separation on rookie first-round corner Noah Igbenogany. The pass is perfect and hits Diggs in stride, but the window was tight and the tackle's made after the 25-yard gain. Later in the drive, Josh dials up another crossing route, this time to Beasley going the other direction. Beasley's lined up in the slot and covered by Nick Needham on the play. Man coverage is again revealed by the motion. Coverage is even tighter on this play, and the window's made even smaller by the fast approaching sideline. Beasley jumps for this ball as both a way to adjust in midair and shield himself from the coverage coming in fast from behind. It's a beautifully placed football, and Beasley does an excellent job with both the route and the adjustment. Next, I want to skip ahead and show you guys some of the plays that occurred during the TV blackout. I'm not sure if you've gotten a chance to see them yet, but it was a pair of big gainers on back-to-back plays that got us in the end zone. The first, a strike to Isaiah McKenzie, who was lined up alone on the left side. Initially, he runs a drag route, but he cuts it upfield and gets separation on Needham. The cornerback slips with the ball in the air, and McKenzie's alone in the open field. Makes it 46 yards before he gets taken down. On the next play, Diggs lines up on the right and motions into the slot on the opposite side. Diggs actually collides with Kyle Van Noy here, who's covering Singletary, and this collision causes Igbenogany to lose track of Stefan for just a moment, and with his speed, that's more than enough for him to slip past the coverage. Diggs makes the catch on a nice throw from Josh, and it's an easy score as a result of the busted coverage. Welcome to Buffalo, Stefan. Later in the second, we see possibly the best pass of Josh's entire career. It's not the best decision of his career, I have to admit, but he finds a double-covered Diggs and throws a perfect pass over the top. He may not have seen the underneath defender as they were shadowing Tyler Kroft on his motion. This may have signaled man coverage as it did previously. Any lower this pass gets picked, any higher, and Diggs doesn't have a prayer. I'd like to see Josh take one of the open receivers on this play, as there's one on each side of the field. Looks to me like Singletary gets this first down easily if the target goes his way. It's not really a problem when you do throw the perfect pass, but this goes to show that even with how great Josh has been, there's still room to improve. And with how much he's already leveled up, there's every reason to think that he will. Now let's go to the fourth quarter where Josh takes over this game. Miami's playing man coverage with a single high safety in the middle of the field. Igbenogany is shaken by the stutter step from Diggs, which gives him the separation he needs. The safety's favoring the other side of the field with Brown and Beasley, so he's late to help, and it's a dime from Josh, good for 47 yards. This drive ends on the next play we're going to look at. Rookie Gabriel Davis lines up on the bottom of the screen. Pressure flushes Josh out of the pocket, and the moment Davis sees this, he breaks off his route and moves with Josh, mirroring the movement he makes in the pocket. Josh puts the ball out in front of Davis, getting it past the defender where only his receiver can make a play on it, and Davis lays out to make the grab, doing a beautiful job of securing the pass before going to the ground, leaving nothing for the replay to overturn the call on the field. You've got to be impressed with both the rookie's hands and effort on this play. Last but not least, we've got the game-clinching touchdown to John Brown. Diggs is drawing so much attention that Brown is wide open here. He beats Igbenogany so bad that the man just gives up on the play with the ball still in the air. Safety Bobby McCain is the third man trying to cover Diggs at the start of the play, and he realizes his mistake just a little bit too late. He's able to make a frantic attempt at the pass breakup, but Brown boxes him out with his body, and the final nail is driven into the Dolphins' coffin. That wraps up the Week 2 breakdown. I'll make sure to look somewhere other than the QB position next week, even if Josh hits the 500-yard mark. But it's hard not to get carried away with the play of Allen thus far. If you like this video, hit the like button and leave a comment below. If you want to see more breakdowns each week, be sure to smack the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications when my videos go live. Let's wreck the Rams in Week 3, Bills Mafia.